Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast, where we talk about business, happiness, life, full potential, becoming your best self, doing something with your life, creating something from that which is in you, and leveraging that thing to be your best self, to produce the best life you want. And this is from every angle you can possibly think of. Someone who is an athlete can apply their trade for 2, 3, 4 years. Between 20 and 25, they may get an injury, they may last for 4 more years, they may want to retire, but the windfall of cash, that lump sum of money that keep coming, they could create an investment portfolio, a stock of real estate, they could have a chain of restaurants, they could create something from the talent, which is indirect, from the talent that can serve them, that can free their time so they could go volunteer at the local charity, at the local church, so they could travel the world and feed the children, and they could do everything else that fulfills them. So when I say creating something from your God-given talent and use it to live the best life ever, I don't mean it in a direct way, but I mean it especially when it's linked to freeing you, giving you the freedom, the lifestyle freedom, the time freedom, and the location freedom to do what means more to you. Because a lot of times what makes us the money actually is not the only thing that we care about. We care about the environment, we care about wildlife, we care about the ocean, we care about the atmosphere, and we want to contribute. We want to help people who are also care about that. We want to contribute, give our resources to any cause that support these things. So when I say create something that can serve you and serve the world, that's what I mean also. I mean not liking to help, only just loving to help people, and you become a doctor and you are in the hospital and always physically helping people. If you become a financially secure doctor who can create something that can free up your time, you could be more involved in bigger things that can help a greater portion of people, a greater number of people each day. So instead of seeing one person per hour in a 12-hour day, giving you see 12 people, you could use that to actually do research, participate in other clinical activities that could be helping millions of people per day. So that's what I speak of when I say creating something that can serve you and serve the world and help you to live your highest, truest version of yourself so you can contribute more. And I heard this quote the other day that's so important. Welcome to the podcast. You know, it's always a pleasure to have you. You know, I say I come here because it chose me. I was meant to do this. I was doing this long before I knew what I was doing, encouraging my friends in school, leading my peers, and encouraging them and motivating them, inspiring them to do more, to be a better person, to perform better, to reach their goals, to think about success. So I read this quote the other day, and it said, I think I was listening to the Millionaire Fast Lane, that book on Audible. And in the book he quoted an author who said that do not expect your morning results to be good in the evening, because your morning results become small in the evening and your morning results become inadequate at night. So whatever you have done, always seek to do it bigger, to do it on a higher scale, to do more, because as you go on, as life moves, nothing stays the same, nothing is stable. Stability died in the Cold War. As life moves, you will, by default, whatever you have achieved will become smaller. Inflation will suck your dollar. Competition and changes in business environment will take away some of your capital appreciation, all that sort of stuff in business or in life. As you get older, you lose energy, parts of your body work differently. Time erodes. That's what time is famous for, to erode things. So unless you sustain and build on, you will find yourself not having enough at evening if your morning results are the only thing you're resting on and you never do anything about them. So this question is really important. It's close to my heart. This morning, someone asked me a couple months ago, what is the toughest lesson you have learned in business? What's the one thing? I'm doing business, he said. I'm pretty successful in business. I've had a couple of knocks, but I want to know if there's one thing that you have met that might open my eyes, that might help me, so I can avoid some of the mistakes. I like to learn from people, and that's a really, really, really good attitude to have, the teachable spirit, that idea of wanting to learn, because it's the very thing that I'm going to talk to you about today. So I left college at about, I went to college early. I went to high school early in my country, in Jamaica, because I got there at 10 when I was supposed to be there at 11. So by the time I was out of college, I was like 18 years old. In Jamaica, that's early. You get out at 21. I think I got out at 18, 19, somewhere there. So it's too long. I'm getting old. I don't remember exactly the age, but it's about 19, 18, and 18, 19 years old. And I started out just from ever since I was in college. I was telling the guys, like, I want to be rich. I want to make a lot of money. I want to have own buildings and drive around my black Mercedes Benz with keys, all sort of keys on my keychain, pulling off my pants because I have so many doors and so many buildings. And I'm going to be super rich. I'm going to be chilling all day and making a lot of money and doing whatever I want and helping people. And, it was like a running joke for them. They're like, oh, Loon, you're always talking about rich. But anyway, so I came out of school hustling. I was selling everything I could find to sell. I landed in this business and I said, okay, I'm going to see how quickly I can make $1 million. I came from humble background. We never had much. One of the things that used to affect me is that every holiday, when the other houses in the neighborhood, the other people in the community had visitors and there was a car parked at their gate, I used to say, like, there's never a car parked at my gate, because all my family members used to take the bus. So at Christmas time, when people are traveling from overseas to visit their relatives in my community, there was there always rent a cars and stuff at their gates, and there's never any car. And I was fascinated with cars and stuff, but I actually never got to go into them because they weren't my family members, and it used to affect me. And I'm like, one Christmas I'm going to put the finest car that ever come into this neighborhood at my grandmother's gate. I'm going to do it. Anyway, I managed to do that at about 23. I'll tell you the story another time. But when I left school and I was hustling, I was doing everything. I was running stalls at the market, get the produce from the country, give it to a guy, drop him off 3 o'clock in the morning, leave him there to sell, pick him back up after I finish my 9-to-5 job at 7 o'clock in the evening, do it again a couple of more mornings. We were selling cupcakes, we were selling fruit plates, we were selling aphrodisiac tablets, we were selling drinks, we were selling everything we could find to sell. Anything that we could sell, we were just selling that stuff out of the trunk of our car in between our work hours at night, until I landed this beautiful business opportunity with a friend who was in Europe, and he was sending me cell phones. And at that point in time, cell phones with camera was just coming into the Jamaican marketplace. So it was hot. In business, a lot of those who make a good money or a big push in their business, who make a lot of money quickly, are people who caught trends. If you can catch a trend, you can make a lot of money really quickly, because when it's hot, you can hit it and you can make a pile load of money, and by the time the competition come running, you could get out, or you could be so big that they can't really touch you. You could kind of eke out your market share and sit on it. Anyway, so we're selling a lot of cell phones, endless cell phones, and out of the back of our car, people are knocking our windows at night when we're sleeping, and we're selling loads of phones. before you know it, one day I was just making the money, I was just stuffing it into, so I went to the store and I bought this huge safe. It was this huge combination safe, and I put it in my room at the time. That time I lived in a studio apartment, and I put the safe in the corner of my room and say, I'm gonna fill this safe, and when I fill it, I think it will be $1 million. So all I was doing, I was selling, and all I was doing just buying and reselling, restocking and selling. And one day, I'm like, I'm selling a lot. Let me just, when I did the math in my head, I'm like, I'm at 20 shipments. Let's say each shipment is 100, and I make 100 off each, 20, 100. I should be at $1 million. When I counted the safe, I was at $2.3 million. And I was like, wow. And it's funny how you can have a target and you can shoot past it and not even realize, because after a while when you think about it, you think the money is the rush, but like a target is a rush. But when you actually start to think about it, it is the process that gives you the rush. So I was doing this 3 years in, we're living large, bought this nice car of cash, did that park at my gate stuff at grandma on Christmas, happy-go-lucky, partying 3 nights a week, buying everything, wearing the finest clothes, staying at the best properties, chasing girls, living the life. My friends were coming in, spending the money, taking care of everybody, making sure everybody was all right, giving them what they want, starting businesses for people, investing in businesses, trying stuff, dabbling here, dabbling there. And one girl that used to help me out when I was in college. So her stepfather drove and used to pick her up when we had a late class in university. So I always go with her, and then they would drop me off. They would drop me home, and that was really good. I appreciated that so much. And I saw her one day and said like, "Hey, Loina, how you doing?" And she saw my car and stuff and say, "Hey, Loina, what's going on? Be careful. Hope you're not moving too fast. Hope you're talking to other business people and getting it right." I'm like, God, I'm moving fast. Moving slow. I don't know what. Not moving fast. You mean I hope you hope I'm moving faster. I'm doing it. I'm killing it. And I thought I had it down. People who were corporate and doing business, and my bank people, I was like, no, these guys are losers. They're just paper pushers. They don't know what they're doing. We're hustlers. We're doing it. We're killing it. We're making a lot of money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And 1 month, the guy who was my supplier, who was the link remember, mark you, I did business in school. That was my major. Business administration was my major. And the guy who was selling me stuff from Europe lost his connection. One go, poof, right away my phone business went on. I'm like, okay. I was talking to a guy who used to fix my car and used to modify my car, making it sound loud and fast and stuff. And he was saying, hey, we could go into this garage business and blah, blah, blah. I jumped over into that garage business. And I was making a killing because he got us a contract with this guy that had a fleet. And we're clearing 25 grand US checks a week in terms of payments and maybe profits. Were 85% of that. We were probably running 15,000 net in the week, 15,000 US. And it was good. It was good. We were young kids and I was just doing it. And I'm like, okay, we're on top of the world, and we were still living it up and partying up. One morning I woke up, the guy who gave us a contract, they transferred him. No more contract. It's fast forward a little later, the garage closed down. There's no phone business. I was trying to scrap stuff together. I was still working. My girlfriend at the time had a business that I invested in, but this was hers. Because of pride, I wasn't going to do that with her. I'll just leave that to her. It was young too, so it was making a lot of money. And in between that, I'd started to import these hair, like synthetic wig type of hair for women. Would build a brand, started it. It was getting traction, but I was like, I'm not going to do that. It's not enough money. It's not making a lot of money. I cut it off. We started, this guy wanted to sell me his water company when bottled water was just coming into popularity in Jamaica, and we were like, water? So he was selling it, and he had some volume, but I was like, nah, that's too slow. That's not a lot of money. I'm going to have to invest in infrastructure. I started, testing the water and everything, and I got frustrated at the get, and I didn't. I had a friend who was in real estate, who was buying a lot of houses, and he was like, Lowen, I will give you some of the money to come in on this project because it's gonna go bankers. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I have to wait on my money. I want my money now. And I was pushing away so many other opportunities. But I'll tell you why that was happening. I understood business. I never understood everything about business, but I was doing my operational stuff right. And I was going along, and then it so happened that things started to fall apart. I left my 9-to-5 job by this, and I was on my own in business, and I just wasn't making a lot of money. I couldn't find that hit again. I wasn't turning much money. I was going hand to mouth. I was behind on my bills. I owed people a lot of money, and I was in so much trouble. People were bailing me out, and whatever they gave me wasn't being returned. I couldn't turn a profit on it. I was losing money left, right, and center. And I got into a really bad state. I got depressed. I was anxious. I got into a negative loop, thinking of stuff that's, thinking about the worst happening. I was saying life has no meaning. What is this about? I was just so lost. And after losing all that money, being humbled, I realized, after I started to read a lot of books, and I'll tell you how that book changed my life, that I think I may have done it on a podcast already, that my brother's girlfriend gave me on a Kindle, Big Picture Thinking. That saved me, but we'll talk about that another time. I realized that my mistake was not having a coach. Coaches have coach. That's my biggest hit that bring me to the biggest realization in business. I thought I knew it all. I didn't know diddly squat. I needed a coach. I needed to be guided. I needed mentorship. I was too young. It was happening too fast for me. And I never had any experience, and I never had anybody in my corner who have done it before, who has seen it before, who has gone through the ups and downs, who understood it from a 30,000 foot view, who have walked the walk. I needed a coach, and I didn't realize that I needed a coach. Obama had a coach. Bill Clinton had a coach. Bill Gates have a coach. Many of the world's most richest people have a coach. Brilliant minds, people who have built businesses that have not even dreamt of building yet. They have coaches. You need someone on the outside who you trust to understand, who have walked the walk, to help you, to guide you, so you can have them on your phone, pay them the money, get them to help you, to do what you don't know how to do, to help you through the situations that you have never seen before. That was my biggest mistake. And to this day, I'm still recovering from that. And I'll tell you why. Because I look at the hair industry that I was almost pioneering. I was probably the front runner, getting my own brand, and maybe some other guys selling, just reselling brands in the country, which I could have done too. That industry reached to 16 billion in value in Jamaican. That's maybe about like 500 million US dollars in value and growing. The water industry, if I show you the operation of the guy who started years after me selling water, his operation is probably clearing at least 10 million US a year in water sales. I have not recovered from that yet, from those lack of guidance. Because if I had someone to guide, if I understood that entire concept, I would have been in tune with these opportunities, and I would have been so far ahead in business and in life. Coaching and mentoring is very important. That's where I tripped up, and that's what you should try to avoid. Get a coach, get a mentor, talk to somebody. Surround yourself with like-minded people so you can get the information you need, and get a coach so they can steer you in the right direction. Many rivers to cross. Many rivers to cross. You want to ensure that someone in your boat understand how to cross rivers. Have a good one, guys. Always a pleasure coming to you. Thanks for listening. Share this podcast. Reach out to me. Leave a comment on the podcast. Tell me, what you like, what you don't like. Tell me I'm a loser. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me what resonated with you. And find me at Lewin Motivator Car on Facebook. Send me a message. I'd love to talk to you. Have a good one. Thank you, guys.